Meet the first of a new generation of the M-Class family. The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name and indomitable force. The M700 Fury transcends traditional limits with more power, blistering performance, a finely appointed interior, and the luxury of what matters most. Time. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
And good morning, Sun and Fun. Guess what? It's day one, 2025, the 51st Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo. Let's get that part in. And believe it or not, it's already been an extraordinary week. We did the innovation preview yesterday, which we'll talk about in a minute. Lots of news, lots of cool news. And to be perfectly honest, we got a gangbuster week ahead of us, so we're pretty excited about that. In addition to all that, Aero-News is expanding in a number of different directions. You'll be hearing about that in the coming weeks. I want to introduce, off to my left, Emma Crawford, who will be joining us both for Morning Brief as well as our Aero-TV features and new segments that will be coming up called Aviator, spelled AV8R. Emma, welcome to the Insanity.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Emma has an interesting flying background. If you would, fill us in a little bit.
Yeah, so I grew up around aviation. My dad was an ANPIA, so unfortunately I wasn't one of those people that, I don't know if you can hold it, I wasn't one of those people that really came into it as I was in the first gen. But yeah, I mean, I grew up around it. I decided I'd rather break them than fix them, and so I ended up flying biplane tours in Galveston for a while. It was my first commercial job. Been doing that for about a year and a half, and now I ferry mostly and getting into media a little bit. Just dipping my toe in, but still trying to keep flying, so.
You're being too bashful. You're a YouTube superstar, aren't you?
Oh. Well, I currently run a YouTube show called Flying Doodles. I took it over from a fellow named Bobby. He was a corporate pilot for a while, then handed it off to me. So I do plane and pilot interviews, and I also run a podcast that I started called Hangar Bums, where we go around hangars, and basically I find your average crusty old airport guy who's got stories to tell, and I tell them. So.
Crusty old airport guy. I resemble that remark. At any rate, let's talk a little bit about the day ahead. First of all, weather. Looks like typical Florida, somewhat. High of 91, but that 91 may eventually be a high for the day, a record for the day, so we shall see. Partly sunny and warm with the temperatures, again, tying the record from 2021. Winds west-southwest at 7, gusts to 10, low probability of precipitation and thunderstorms. At least we hope so. We know Sun and Fun's history with thunderstorms, so we're going to cross our fingers and just hope for one heck of a good week, and it looks like we got one in the works. Real quick, if you haven't already seen it, airborne-live.net. The innovation preview went off yesterday. We had 22 companies bragging about all the cool stuff they were doing. A lot of new innovations. We'll be talking about a few of them here today. And to make a long story short, the cool factor was intensely high. So very excited about how the innovation preview will be received in coming weeks. And more important than anything else, how aviation will be transformed by the announcements we started with yesterday. We're going to take a very quick break, and we're going to be talking to the folks from Delta Hawk who led up the innovation preview yesterday after Gene Conrad told us about the future of Sun and Fun. And we will be right back in just a moment.
The Aero-News Network Sun and Fun Digital Daily Morning Brief, live from Lakeland, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
Putting in your fuel senders was one of the smartest decisions I made.
Made a real difference in my flying.
When I land, I will have the fuel that I expect to have, and it's just been a remarkable improvement.
The SICE system gives me that confirmation.
A whole new level of confidence with my level of fuel on board. I mean, I know exactly how much I've got.
You know, such a simple thing, but so important.
Flight Club is redefining access to the skies. We currently have 68 personal aircraft available across the U.S. market. Aircraft owners can combat high ownership costs with flexible revenue options such as block time, membership dues, and hourly rates. Flight Club even offers a comprehensive fleet insurance policy with a fast and simple quote process. Whether you're looking to fly or list your aircraft, Flight Club makes it easier than ever. Join the movement. Let's take flight.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MW Fly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com.
And the excitement never ends. We're back here at the 51st Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo, just off the Compass Roads, off of Building A. It's already getting busy, and more important than anything else, it's just going to be a really nice, warm day for airplane people to do airplane things and have just a chance to see what's the best and brightest in aviation. Speaking of best and brightest, we're here with Chris Root of Delta Hawk, who yesterday announced STCs for the 172 and 182, which is going to shake a few things up. Chris, who's CEO of I guess, the most innovative engine program we've seen in a long time. Tell us what's happening at Delta Hawk.
You know, it's been a long time coming. It's been almost 20 years that Delta Hawk's been working on this innovation, and the ability for us to announce today that, for Sun and Fun, that we're actually getting, I'll call it commercial traction, and that we launched the 172, 182 retrofit programs, firewall forward, complete way to basically future-proof the majority and the largest portion of the general aviation piston-based fleet.
I can imagine that the 172 and 182 crowd, especially flight schools, have a lot of interest in what you're up to next.
Well, with all the uncertainty in avgas and our ability to run on Jet A and then SAF in the future, above and beyond the fact that we've got a 40% better fuel efficiency and a 40% reduction in maintenance costs, and you look at the fact that Jet A is already less expensive than avgas in most of the U.S. and definitely the other parts of the world, flight schools are definitely calling us, and we look forward to the rest of them calling us to get this momentum moving forward.
How long will this program take? When will we see airplanes off the line?
Well, we already have the firewall forward package almost complete, and we're beginning I'll call it the paperwork process with the FAA for the STCs. So we expect in less than a year, which is really at this point in time, we're taking orders.
Outstanding. For the foreseeable future, Delta Hawk is already available for the RV-14, the Velocity Twin, and you're doing some development work with Piper as well. How are those programs proceeding?
Well, the Velocity Twin, I flew here on Saturday. It's sitting at the Velocity booth. The RV-14 has left the Delta Hawk factory in a running condition, and they're just finishing all of the final development work on it to get it flying shortly. But as far as the Delta Hawk work is concerned, it's done and ready, and we're ready to start taking orders for those two. The Seminole project is progressing really nicely. The twin engine, has been a great addition to what we've been working on for that. So we're looking forward to all of it.
The OEM program, I know you're talking to a number of manufacturers already, but that has got to be the future bread and butter of Delta Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, our engine, because we're U.S.-based and U.S.-owned, has a lot of military applications as well for drones. In fact, Aperion here at the air show has one of ours shown in a heavy lift drone. We definitely on the GA OEM side have the ability. We're one of basically the only diesel that I know of that can do counter-rotating in both tractor and pusher applications. So for the most part, we have what the OEMs need, and we're ready to start talking if we haven't already.
There you go. Well, the Aperion program's based on the Hummingbird airframe, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, we're really excited for what they are going to be able to do, and because we have a dry sump oil system, they're able to orient the engine in the Hummingbird in a way that others can't do it. So, again, we've found an ability to help a manufacturer in a way that the industry hasn't been able to so far.
Well, I can bet you that Brad Clark is excited about that. The Hummingbird's a really nice little aircraft in the four-place kit helicopter mode that we've seen it heretofore, which was based on the Sikorsky S-55. So it's not like this thing hasn't been through the mill as an airframe, but adapting Delta Hawk to it is just going to be a real exciting parameter.
Well, you look at the military one fuels mandate and the fact that Jet A is globally available. It's just a lot of pluses, a lot of benefits, and with the newest technology out there, we look forward to the partnership.
With the eco-frenzy that is in some places justifiably, in other places, just what does Delta Hawk bring to those who have concerns about the ecological footprint of aviation?
Well, again, if you can already just start with 40% more fuel efficiency, you got 40% less carbon dioxide, carbon emissions, if you want to call it that. When you look at the fact that you're not running avgas, you've reduced 100% of the lead-borne emissions on every engine that you're in there for. And because, again, as the future and the commercial airlines are pushing for a sustainable aviation fuel that has a better carbon footprint as well, we're just lined up perfectly for future-proofing whatever the investment or the airframe is that the manufacturers are looking to take forward and for them.
Well, I was excited to be, from what I understand, the first among the aero journalists to sample the Delta Hawk on board an SR-20. Gosh, what was it, about a year and a half ago or some such. For where it was at the time, very impressive. What I see now is tremendously exciting for the future of the industry. And let's face it, the biggest problem aviation has right now is that a lot of our technology is based on stuff we were doing during World War II, and that's just nuts. So to see something that's new, that's American, that's innovative, that is right off the drawing board, so to speak, is a real pleasure. Where can people get more information on Delta Hawk?
Well, if you're here at Sun and Fun, Delta Hawk has a booth. You can always go to www.deltahawk.com and learn more and get information at what you're looking for.
Outstanding. Chris Rood, Delta Hawk. Folks, if you haven't seen it, go see it. Also, if you go by the Velocity booth, there is a beautiful Delta Hawk twin-equipped Velocity there that just looks like it looked like it flew here from Mars. It's just gorgeous. And the Delta Hawk and Velocity combination just looks
The Aero-News Network Sun and Fun Digital Daily Morning Brief, live from Lakeland, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
I'm a pilot and aviation enthusiast myself. For me, the most exciting model I've ever manufactured was my own. It's just the coolest feeling to have on display a plane that you've personally connected with over the years. Show off that passion for aviation. You know, if you own a general aviation airplane and you want the world to know about it, put it on your desk. Inspire the next generation. If you want to share your love for aviation with a friend or family member, shop our great selection of aircraft models today.
Centronic to me is an iconic aviation brand.
Here we go, we're taxiing out. First rip on the new prop. Bump throttle now. This prop really bites.
So you picked up a little bit.
Oh yeah, about 15 miles an hour. That's quite a bit.
Something we worked really hard at Centronic the last 5 years is to try and combine the best performance both at low speed and high speed with our composite props. And I really think on this one, we've done it.
The legendary BD4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged four-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
What? You're still there? We didn't bore you enough already? I mean, come on now. All right, so we got the Steadfast viewers still with us. Glad to have you. Yesterday at Innovation Preview, there were a number of exciting announcements. Let's talk to the folks at Gleim, Ryan, Jeff, and Garrett Gleim, about programs that they introduced yesterday that I have a feeling are going to shake up a certain segment of the training regime. Ryan, if you would, explain to me just what you announced yesterday.
Absolutely. So we announced yesterday that we've developed an AI training tool that students can use to practice in their oral, enunciating their answers whenever they would like. We found that there was an issue because based on our research, a lot of students who were failing their check rights, who were failing in the oral portion, and also getting a hold of your instructor and sitting them down and trying to get ground time with them is really challenging. So we found an area here that we can help, and that's what Gleim has always wanted to do. And we've developed a virtual DPE, a digital pilot examiner, that will allow students to access the program anywhere they are, and they can speak into a microphone, and the DPE will not just give them the right answer, but will coach them towards the right answer. And one example of that would be if they're asking about thunderstorms, what are the characteristics of a thunderstorm, and you produce just one characteristic of it, it will try to coach you to do what the others are.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Garrett, a little bit more background on how this was all developed.
So I work with a lot of different startup companies in Gainesville with technologies out of the University of Florida, and I met with a bunch of different folks, including an FSU startup with AI, and I got the sense that we could create this program of interaction. And I think the important part of that for education is you've got to practice like you play. So for example, American football, if there's any people from Europe or other places, but you want to practice in the rain because you might have a game in the rain. And if you always practice, say, indoors, at indoor practice facility in the air conditioning, it doesn't really allow you to do your best on the field. And the same is true in studying for an exam. So if you're always studying for an exam and you're talking to your friend and you're giving each other answers, it's not how it's going to be with the examiner. So what we wanted to do was create a simulated environment where you could really simulate being in front of an examiner with that stress, with that potential anxiety, and get accustomed to feeling uncomfortable and being able to ask questions just like you will do on game day, but in a practice environment. And so we think that's the real benefit of this, is it changes it so it really decreases your anxiety during the oral part of the exam.
Yeah, I think there's a huge difference between understanding the knowledge and doing it in a knowledge test, but speaking it out to a DPE is a completely different skill, and we wanted to try to help resolve that in students.
Well, where, when, and how will this be utilized? Where can we see this in the real world? How will a flight instructor, how will a flight school, how will a flight training establishment like higher learning colleges and so forth, how can they use this?
Yeah, just like all our other online products, students could use it whenever they're trying to study at their own pace. Part 61 students, Part 141 students. Universities can have it in their classrooms for students to use. They could have labs, and the students can practice not just with a single instructor trying to manage all the students, but every single student could have their own Gleim DPE and learn how to enunciate their answers better.
Well, the big question to me is, where were you 50 years ago when I was sweating this stuff out? Gee, thanks, pals. Good grief. Gleim has established quite a name and quite a reputation over the years within the flight training establishment. If you would, explain a little bit of where Gleim is positioned now and where you hope it will be.
Sure.
So we've always been interested in helping people self-study and learning how to do everything on the ground before they get in the air. A lot of our materials are there to try to help you decrease your flight training time, because the more you're accompanied or the more you're comfortable with everything on the ground before you get in the air, the easier it's going to be. And so we want to continue doing that. We want to leverage technologies. We were actually the first ever flight instructor refresher course that was online, and we've first ever online 141 ground school. So we've always been cutting edge, adopting technologies, and we plan to continue doing that. And this is just the first of many AI adaptations that we're going to be using within our study program.
Well, how much aviation do you expect to cover with a program like this? I can see a number of iterations in different segments of the industry that would benefit greatly. And I love the fact that even an individual student can utilize it right off the bat, because something like that is not only a knowledge builder, but a confidence builder.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just like our other products too, as long as there's a knowledge test for it, we want to help. So this tool is different than our other programs because it's not an online ground school where you sit down and try to answer questions, but you actually speak out those questions. And we can do that as long as there's an ACS. I feel like there's an opportunity there for us to make it into our product. Currently, we only have it for private pilot, but we're very quickly implementing instrument and commercial after that.
Yeah, I think the applications are endless, even within the cockpit for training. But that's all on our roadmap, and we got to start driving there. And as the AI technology develops further, we're going to, there's going to be a bunch of different opportunities we don't even know today. Just thinking about, because technology doubles if you look at Moore's law every 18 months. So, in another Sun and Fun or 2 Sun and Funs, everything's going to be completely different. So, thank you.
Exciting stuff. At some point here, I've got to try this out and see if I can stump it. This just looks like way too much fun to me, or an opportunity to prove how dumb I've gotten in the past 54 years. Oh, no, that's a challenge, buddy. That's a challenge. I'd really look forward to it. Where can people get more information on this product and everything else at Gleim?
Sure. Our website, we have a free demo for anybody who wants to try out the Gleim DPE. It's just gleimaviation.com/auto, OTTO. That's just a character named, the Gleim DPE is named Auto, and we hope Auto will be able to help you in your oral training.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here at Aero-News. We're going to segue off real quick. We've got the air show scheduled for today. Nathan's got a glitzy graphic for you, but the air show starts at 1300 ET today. Ends right about 5 o'clock or so, but the excitement never ends. Keep in mind that the air show here at Sun and Fun is one of the best, if not the best in the country, as designed and supervised and implemented and directed by Dennis Dunbar, who got a massive award at ICAS this year that are usually bestowed upon performers rather than people who direct and operate air shows. It was a singular honor for a singular guy. So we're very excited to see what he's coming up with today's air show. And later on in the week when we start adding nights and drones and fireworks and small thermonuclear explosions, whatever he's got up his sleeve, God only knows. So we'll take a moment here and let's take a look at today's air show schedule. Alrighty, so tell you what, folks, we have a number of things we'd like to follow up for today. There's a number of exciting events scheduled, but tell you what, Emma, take it away.
Okay. All right, well, a quick short brief on other events coming up today. At 10 o'clock, there will be a Mosaic Forum in the Aerospace Pavilion, so we'll see if anyone really knows what's going on for that. And then for the evening activities today, well, at 6 o'clock, there will be an opening day concert with Tyler Hubbard and Uncle Cracker on the Warbird ramp. And at 1900, there will be a Sunset Aerial Circus and Stoll Invitational. So for all you folks that really like that Stoll stuff, head on out there and check it out. And that will be Best in Sport Aviation at Sunset in Paradise City. So, yeah, I think that about wraps it up for a short brief.
Well, semi-short. We're going to be joining you each morning 0900, airborne-live.net. That's airborne with an E at the end, airborne-live.net. On behalf of the entire Aero-News team, Holland and Tom behind the cameras, Nathan back in the control booth, behind the curtain, do not bother the guy behind the curtain, and the rest of an extraordinary staff, I thank you for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow bright and early, 0900, providing we survive the parties tonight, and we will be joining you this afternoon with Airborne, throughout the week with Aero-TV. And, of course, don't forget that Saturday Flight Live, live presentations of the day and the night air shows come up this Saturday. Saturday Flight Live. You have to admit, that's kind of a really interesting term, don't you think? It was very clever, came out of nowhere. Nobody's heard anything like it before. On behalf of Aero-News, the gang, Emma, and the rest of us, we thank you much. We will see you here tomorrow, 0900. We're out.
The Aero-News Network Sun and Fun Digital Daily Morning Brief, live from Lakeland, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
First of a new generation of the M-Class family. The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name and indomitable force. The M700 Fury transcends traditional limits with more power, blistering performance, a finely appointed interior, and the luxury of what matters most. Time. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.